Hey everybody, it is Mattie here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. We have got a lot of news today. First and foremost, today is October 30th. Tomorrow is the 31st of October, and that's when we're going to exclusively be looking at the 10th anniversary of Bitcoin's white paper. But before then, we're going to round up all of the other news items, and there's a lot of them. I don't even have time to get to everything that's on altcoinbuzz.io, but we're going to go through some of the highlights here. And again, emphasis on some because there's a lot happening today. We're going to take a look at Bitstamp, which has been sold to a South Korean business. We're going to take a look at this Oyster Pearl fiasco. A lot of finger pointing suggesting that an exit scam has taken place. We're going to take a look at a Community Speaks feature on Apollo currency, since so many of you out there in the Altcoin Buzz army have been interested, have been asking about it. But let's begin, as always, on altcoinbuzz.io with the Newsflash, the biggest stories of the previous week. Of course, we're coming right off the bat of this big drop in Bitcoin, but then again, you take a step back, right? And the price of Bitcoin at the time of this recording is about $6,300 or so. So it dropped $150, maybe $200 since our last video. That kind of volatility, if you'll remember, used to be the norm. So I think it just goes to show that really we've been in a very narrow channel recently, because what was otherwise basically normal daily volatility really seems more pronounced, really seems like a bigger deal lately. Anyways, just my observation. But in terms of big news that has shaped the market recently, do check out these stories if you've not already. They're linked to in this article. We talked about them all earlier in the week. Circle CEO, global cryptocurrency rules are needed. Bit of an opinion that, we kind of looked at both sides of that in our previous video, so do be sure to check out the article there. Number 2, we talked about the HTC Exodus 1. They launched their blockchain phone and crypto-focused smartphone, I guess I should say. Number 3, backed futures to begin trading in December. There was that rumor that it was going to happen sooner, but I wouldn't put too much stock in that. We're still looking at December. Number 4, EOS sees active accounts surge 500% to 60,000. So those were the 4 biggest stories in our estimation. We're going to link to this article in the description below, which includes the links to those individual stories. Check them out if you've not already. In other news today, by way of Luke, Bitstamp sold to South Korean investment firm. So the Luxembourg-based cryptocurrency exchange Bitstamp has been sold to a Belgian investment company called NXMH. The new Belgian owner of Bitstamp is a subsidiary of NCX, which is a big South Korean firm. NXMH manages over 2 billion euros in investments, and the parent company, NCX, is also the owner of Corbit. So Bitstamp isn't the largest, but it is the 28th largest cryptocurrency exchange, so they still got some heft, and they've been sold in an all-cash deal to the Belgian-based investment company. Financial details about the acquisition have not yet been released, but in a press release, the CEO of Bitstamp said, quote, "Today I am pleased to announce that Bitstamp has been acquired by NXMH, a Belgian-based investment company. Bitstamp has been regularly approached by suitors for quite some time. The reason why we finally decided to sell the company is a combination of the quality of the buyer, the quality of the offer, and the fact that the industry is at a point where consolidation makes sense. A major factor in agreeing to the sale is that the mission, leadership, and vision of the company remain the same." The CEO, Kodrick, furthermore said, quote, "The sale wasn't planned. There was no active effort to go around and solicit buyers. The vibrant industry last year sparked potential interest from buyers to make a footprint in the industry. We started to get approached by buyers in the middle of last year." So it's important to point out, as Luke does, that even though Corbit is also owned by the same entity going forward, Bitstamp and Corbit will work independently. At least that's what we've been told. So let us know what you think about this. Does this have any major implications? Is this going to reverberate in unexpected ways? Is it going to have other consequences in the world of crypto? I don't think this is a move that was made out of desperation. There's no reason to believe that. However, it's important to keep track of, anything that's bought and sold in terms of organizations in this space. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Now, unfortunately, there's some negative news out there in the ether. We've got to talk about it. Oyster Pearl founder performs exit scam. Article here from yesterday by Garrett. So Oyster Protocol, PRL, founder Bruno Block transfers directorship of PRL smart contract to himself and proceeds to exit scam the PRL project. So many of you may have heard about this. According to a recent announcement by Oyster Pearl CEO William Cordes, an individual known as Bruno Block was able to use a function within the Oyster Pearl smart contract to perform an exit scam. Bruno Block is the founder of the Oyster Pearl project and was the only individual who had access to the function called Transfer Director and used his director powers to resume the ICO for Oyster Pearl. Bruno was able to do this since he was the sole owner of the smart contract private key, and this allowed Bruno to mint around 3 million new PRL tokens, which he swiftly market sold on the KuCoin exchange. Now, I don't know how this guy expects to get away with this, because if everybody sort of knows that it's him, knows his identity, knows really what he did, and the forensics all point to it, unless he basically goes, and escapes into the jungles of the Amazon, what does he think is going to happen, really? And Garrett addresses exactly that point. Cordes writes that Bruno worked hard to retain his anonymity, and Cordes admits that he knew very little about who Bruno actually is. Team members are working hard to try to discover the identity of Bruno and think that they have a chance, since Bruno had many known social media accounts that could help in tracking him down. So I suppose that name is just an alias that he used, but you got to get together the collective autism of the internet. I think that enough people are going to feel outraged enough to really be able to crack this case and to track this guy down. What a scummy move. So at press time, writes Garrett, Oyster has fallen 62% in the last 24 hours. The coin experienced a plus over 300% gain in the week before this incident, setting a record high of 26 cents. The coin is now valued at just over 7 cents, and trading has been halted on almost every exchange where PRL is available. So we are imploring all of you out there in the altcoin buzz army, please do not buy Oyster Pearl or Oyster Shell tokens at this moment. The team must create a new smart contract and new token. Any coins you purchase now may not be eligible for a token swap if the team ends up performing one. If there is anything that can be learned from this, please consider the projects you choose to invest in and find out who has access to the contract private keys. It should be cause for concern if the owner is anonymous. Yes, definitely. I think, again, this is a negative story to be able to talk about. We got to mention it, but this does set a precedent in the space. There's too much power. This really flies in the face of the decentralization that attracted most of us to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the first place, right? If you have an anonymous figure that's in control of a company that has, that wields that much power and control, that really is going against the grain of what this is all about. If you want to read more about this issue here, William Cordes, CEO of Oyster, provided an update here on Medium, and he addresses it directly. Earlier today, it was discovered that the transfer director function was utilized on the Oyster Protocol token contract. This allowed the new director to reopen the ICO for PRL and reissue new tokens. The individual in question then sent these tokens, as many as 3 million, to KuCoin, where the tokens were market sold. They were able to extract about $300,000 in funds prior to us being able to shut down trading and withdrawals on KuCoin. You can read the rest of the CEO's statement here. Bolded here for importance and emphasis. After our initial review, we are inclined to believe that these were solely the actions of Bruno Block, and that he did this now to avoid detection from KuCoin Know Your Customer procedures that will be implemented on November 1st. So it looks like he was trying to get ahead of the game. So do be careful if you're a bag holder of PRL, not any financial advice, but certainly I wouldn't buy anything else, and don't do anything too drastic. It's an unfortunate situation. We will continue to monitor it and provide new information and updates as they become available. You can also read about this on Blockchain Reporter. Oyster Pearl founder exit scams after printing 3 million tokens. We'll keep you up to speed with any developments as they arise. Let's end on a more positive note here with a new Community Speaks feature on Apollo currency. Since so many of you have been requesting information about Apollo, this is a very, very popular project among the altcoin buzz army. So the Apollo Foundation. As of late, the Apollo Foundation has made tremendous leaps toward dominating the crypto space. The recent move by Apollo, adding the infamous John McAfee as the chairman, is a major statement to anyone who is familiar with privacy. Adding to the big move, Apollo has Hermes planned to be released in November of 2018. Not only will it be the fastest, but also the most secure, feature-filled, and user-friendly network to date. So you guys can read more about the roadmap as it's detailed here and all these subsections. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go through them all in much depth, but you can read about why privacy is a major priority with Apollo. Decentralized ecosystems are a big deal, financial systems, and what Hermes is all about. This feature above, along with so much more, are what make Apollo the only all-in-one cryptocurrency to date. Please take the time to see the comparison charts below, which you can check out. Of course, we're going to link to this in the description below. In conclusion, conclusion, the Apollo Foundation has put forth so much time, energy, and resources into making the most feature-rich project to be usable by anyone on Earth. When you look back at recent projects, you can clearly see why Apollo is such a game changer and will be ahead of the game as they continue to move forward in the future. Visit Apollo and check out the team along with the fan store. So our thanks very much to Anthony for that contribution. Again, if you want to provide a contribution, whether it's for Apollo or another cryptocurrency, whether you're an employee or just an investor, be sure to contact Garrett at Garrett59 on Telegram. Give us a bio, give us a pitch of it, what it is that you'd like to write about or talk about, and we'd be happy to have you on board and have your voice heard. If you want to check out Apollo, it's apollocurrency.com. That's the website, the ultimate currency, the world's first all-in-one privacy coin. So many of you are very gung-ho on this project, and probably for good reason. So do be sure to check out the website if you're intrigued or if you have not already. And just a quick word of thanks to guys. This is Altcoin Buzz IO on Twitter. Thanks to guys like all of the following that are listed here and many more. Our Community Speaks segment has taken off this month. Check it out here. So yes, if you are interested to join or know more, contact at Garrett Crypto. That's on Twitter. Again, at Garrett59 on Telegram. And our heartfelt thanks really to everybody that has contributed. It's been fantastic. If you click this link, it'll bring up all the different contributions by all the members of the Altcoin Buzz Army that have written so far, that have published with us. So we're waiting to hear from more of you and to highlight your voices as much as possible. Your involvement means a lot to us. We thank you. And with that, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army, stay tuned. Tomorrow we're looking at 10 years of Bitcoin, October 31st, 2008, the publication of the Bitcoin white paper. So we're going to have a special feature on that. In the meantime, do be sure you're following Altcoin Buzz and Altcoin Buzz News. Check out our last video here on the right if you've not already. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram. You guys know the drill. If you choose to invest, I wish you all the very best. Have a wonderful Tuesday. We're going to see you guys tomorrow on Hump Day. Have a great one.